All right, let's tackle our next row. We are going to start by chaining 3. What a surprise. Doing our weird little half a cluster, so yarn over and DC into the stitch at the base of your chain 3. Yarn over, cluster on over to your middle section. I think for me this is 8 clusters, but like I said, I don't do counting. That's why I marked the middle. Whoops, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Keep going. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we are. Like I said, that middle's so useful, right? You're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now with yarn over, we're going to work 7 double crochet using this as our foundation. You don't need to work every stitch into the chain particularly. You're just going to work into that space. Yarn over, keep the tension here so that the bottom of your stitch stays in a nice shape and doesn't get wild and out of control. I'm kind of holding both sides of the chain so that I kind of have a loop here that I work into. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's just like one big old cluster. Okay, there your 7 DC. Oh yeah, there they are, 7 double crochet. And now you chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, on we go with our clustering business. So you obviously skip over this one and you work into the next space. 1, 2, 3. And you might notice if you look at the skull motif that's already complete, that as you build the skull from the bottom up, your number of clusters decreases. And that's why I like marking the middle, so I don't have to count how many clusters I'm constantly doing. I just go until I run out of room, or I go until I hit the middle. I work very much from a pictorial sense. 2, 3. 2, 3. Oh, phew, thought I split it. Keep going. Last one. Here I am, my little half cluster. 1 DC into that space, and then 1 DC into the top chain of that chain 3. Okay, that's how I get my nice straight edge running along the side. I say that and then I notice that it's wonky at the bottom. Hey, you just need to pull it into shape. Okay, if you do want to check your work, if you're doing the same as me and you started with your foundation of 60 stitches, you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 clusters on either side of your skull motif. Chain 3 and turn your work. All right. Oops. So you can see now we've done this row here, and we're coming up to this guy next, and this is going to be another chain through the middle of our work that then builds the foundation for the cheekbones and the face. So This is the row where we put one cluster into that space. You can see it's the same as the row just below. Every second row is identical. Oops, love it when that happens. Suddenly realize I'm crocheting air, not cotton. So good. Okay, this is going to be my last cluster in this chunk because hit the middle, look at that. So because I know my motif's getting wider, I don't put another cluster in this space. Instead, I chain 4. Some of you may discern a pattern here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine, good, easy. Now I'm going to single crochet into the first double crochet here, and that's like my anchor stitch. Keep the tension on the cotton so it doesn't get all big and baggy. Now chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Check your tension, make sure it sits flat over the top. If it's too short, you're chaining too tight. You're going to anchor that chain by working into that last DC, the previous row. Single crochet. Okay, that's anchored. Chain 4, just like you did on the other side. I love the symmetry of this pattern. Skip that cluster and work into the first space over here. And surprise, surprise, this is the part where your brain relaxes and goes soggy because you just granny clustered to the end. This is where I occasionally have regrets that this scarf is not thinner, but you know, I like a chunky scarf. I'm in Australia, so it never gets freezing cold here, but I like to rug up and not let that chill hit the back of my neck too hard. My other suggestion would be use a plain yarn for this, okay? Don't use something with crazy changing colors because you will lose the pattern in the complexity of the yarn. Go with a block color or go with a slow gradient change, maybe something like the Hobby or the Sheepos yarn that has a really, really long color change in it. But I think with stuff like this, it's really great. It's much more attention grabbing if you kind of let the pattern speak for itself. DC into your last, the top of your chain 3 from the previous row, and you're ready to chain 3 and turn your work. Okay, little point of comparison. Yep, looking good so far. If anyone wants to check their maths, I now have 7. No, I don't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 clusters before the skull motif in that row we just finished. Start clustering. It's the time to start into the bottom of that first chain 3. And here comes your first full cluster now. 1, 2, 3. I feel projects like this are really great for working on tension because you get a lot of practice at chaining and you can kind of stop and rip it out immediately if it doesn't sit nicely. And you get a lot of practice at basic stitches, which is really great if you want to head on to more complex projects like Sophie's Universe or any of the Hooked on Sunshine blankets that are really magnificent. A couple of those live here. Also Charlotte's Universe is a really stunning pattern. but they all rely so much on having nice tension in your basic stitches. And if you've looked at other videos on my channel, you know I'm a Suzuki teacher, so we spend a lot of time getting the basics right and focusing on the idea of repetition, building mastery. I can assure you the same thing is true of crochet. I have hit my middle. I've got one cluster left before the motif, so that means it's time to stop. I chained 3 here, I chained 4 here, now I'm going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with my lovely tension. Okay, this is where we build our cheekbones. Well, kind of cheekbones. We're going to just, nice and easy, hook into this guy here. And then single crochet across. And we have got 9 to fit in here. 1. No, we haven't. We've got 7 to fit in here. 9 in total. Hold on. I'm going to stop and do that again because I've confused myself even. I have a chain of 7 plus 2 single crochet. So I do a total of 9 single crochet. My first one goes in here and anchors what I'm doing. There's my 1 single crochet. Now I do 7 more across this chain. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 single crochet to match my 7 chain. Now I do my anchoring single crochet into the last single crochet, that anchor stitch. That's my total of 9. Okay, so I did chain 5, sorry. Chain 5, it's getting late. 9 single crochet, and now I chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I yarn over, keep tension on the back of my hook into that first space after the first cluster. 1, 2, 3. And head across to the other side. Last cluster, and here's my little weird half here at the end. Yarn over, double crochet in the space, yarn over, double crochet into the top of my chain 3 from the preceding row. Okay, so in the row we just finished, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clusters on either side, 5 chain, 9 single crochet, 5 chain, and then your clusters to finish off. Let's chain 3 and turn our work. Okay, matching up, we've just done that row. Now we're about to do this row here where we put the little nose hole in our skull.